call it. The nose is small. It's not like the forehead. So you can really just visualize the middle and place a dot right in the middle. Once placed, take a skin ruler and align it vertically with your mid nose dot. So you can use your skin ruler, which is that blue ruler in the package, or you can use the tip of your caliper, and I'll show you how to do that when we do the mannequin. But I act like this is my skin ruler. You're gonna shadow your brow pencil from the mid nose mark up to the middle of the brows. Once you do that, you're gonna make a line in the middle of the brows, about an inch and a half line. So basically, I'm lining my skin ruler up that middle of the nose, and then I'm gonna come shadow my pencil up and make a line right in the middle. Okay, that is going to be my midline. I call it my midline or my basis line. Okay, so once you make that line, then you're going to place your forehead sticker. You're going to line your forehead sticker up this line. If everybody looks in their kit real quick and look at your forehead sticker, you will see in the middle of your forehead sticker there's a straight line and it has little lines going through it horizontally. Okay, that straight line in the middle, you line that line up with the middle line you made. So if everybody looks and sees, there's a straight line directly in the middle.
Oh.
Yep. You're gonna line that straight line up with this line, okay? Put my forehead sticker on. Okay, so this is just the general drawing. This is what it'll look like when you get to that point. So you have your forehead sticker on. So straight line, forehead sticker on. All right, so use the caliper to measure the distance from the mark made in the middle of the brows to the beginning of each brow to make sure they're the same length. This will ensure the brows are evenly spaced in the middle. If the client has uneven brows, we will continue to the next step to determine where the beginning of the brow should start. So basically meaning, and can I use your caliper? Alright, so basically meaning we're going to take our caliper. Caliper is used to make sure things are equal, okay? So you can hold it in place when you measure things. When I say that, I mean I'm going to open up my caliper and just kind of measure from here to here to see if it's in the same vicinity. Now, most people might have uneven brows, so this part would be kind of like obsolete, or it'll be obsolete if they have no brows either. But you just want to make sure you're kind of in the vicinity of the middle of the brows, and you hold your caliper so it'll be the same. You know it's the same, okay? All right, so then we are on letter A. Letter A corresponds with the diagram, okay? So from then we will take the skin ruler and place it vertically in the crease of the nostril. Crease of the nostril is right here, guys. Not behind it, not the middle of the nose. Crease of the nostril. Usually where you would get like a nose ring. That's a good way to remember it. Crease of the nostril. Shadow the brow pencil up the ruler until it's alongside the middle line and make a dot for the bottom of the brow and a dot for the top. This is where the beginning of the brow should start. How far apart you put your top and bottom dots will be dependent upon the client's desired thickness. This will be the first 2 dots you will make out of 5 total dots, okay? So I'm using the tip of my caliper or my skin ruler, putting it in the crease of the nostril, holding it straight up. I'm going to shadow my pencil up. I'm going to make 2 dots. Okay, those are my 2 dots. That stands for the beginning of my brow. Okay, and this dot starts the top of the brow. This dot starts the bottom of the brow. Now, How far apart you put those dots is going to be dependent upon you and the client. Okay? If they have a good amount of hair here and they just want to mimic their natural thickness, then you will put the dot right above and right below their natural hair. If they don't really have hair and they tell you, okay, I don't want it too thick, I want like a medium, then you know how to adjust your dots. The closer you put these dots together, the thinner the brow is going to be. The further you put them apart, the thicker they're going to be. Is everybody following me? Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. All right. So B. We're now on B on the diagram. Place a ruler in the crease of the nostril once again. So once we do this, the starting point never changes. It's always in the crease of the nostril. Okay. Place ruler in the crease of the nostril once again. Have client look directly straight. So if they're laying down, they're going to be looking directly at the ceiling. Okay. Some people brow map with them sitting up. I don't have anything against it. I think it's just harder because they might tend to move. Okay. When they land on their back, they're flat. You have a nice steady surface. All right. Have the client look directly straight. So that means they'll be looking at the ceiling. Take brow pencil and place a dot for the bottom of your arch and the top of your arch. Okay. Remember, the arch is higher than the head or the bulb of the brow. Dots will need to be higher to create an arch. How high the dots are will be dependent upon the shape they choose. This will make marks 3 and 4 out of 5, okay? So again, if they want an arch, the 2 dots here need to be higher than these. If you make them the same level, it's going to be a straight brow. Does everybody get what I'm saying? All right, if you make them lower, I don't know what the hell that is. Okay. They have to be higher to create some sort of arch. Now, how high you're going to place them is going to depend on if they want a soft arch, medium arch, high arch, whatever you want. We're going to look at brow shapes later. But, okay, so I'm going to rotate this. Okay, it needs to pretty much cut the middle of the pupil. Okay, there's a margin of error there, that's fine. But pretty much to the middle of the pupil is what I like. I'm going to give them like a medium arch. And what I'm going to do, make my third dot at the top. I'm going to make my third dot at the top. Now, this is where I'm going to stop. And this is where you guys are going to hear me say, check your work. You can jot this down in your notes. So whenever you hear me say, check your work, and I'll say it several times throughout the class duration, that means use your caliper. This is going to be your best friend. Some of my students made names for it. I know one girl, she used to call it a cha-ching because she would like throw it out. But yes, check your work. So to check your work, what you're doing is measuring the distance between these two. Holding your caliper, going over here, holding it down. That's how you know where dot number 4 should be placed. Okay? Instead of just eyeballing it. Always check your work. Because now the distance from here to here to here to here is 100% the same. Is everybody with me? Mm-hmm. If you just eyeball it, there's a chance you're going to make this dot too close to this one or too far away. So I'm not going to just, okay, there's my second 2 dots. I'm going to eyeball it. I'm going to use my caliper every single time. That's why people sometimes end up with funny looking brows, because this middle one is too close or it's too far apart. Okay? Just checking my work. Making sure. Okay? So, that is my second part. C, take ruler and align it with nostril again. Rotate ruler until it meets the crease of the eye. Use brow pencil to make a mark. In this instance, we're going to make a short line. For the tail, this will be marks 5 of 5. Alright, so nostril, crease of the eye. Instead of a dot, I'm going to make myself a line here. Okay? Now, the reason we make a line is because you need to know where the tail should fall here. Okay, we don't want to just eyeball where the tail is supposed to go. We need to make sure that's where it's supposed to go. So if you look at your chart, let's look at line D. So we did A, B, and C. Let's look at line D. Okay, D is an imaginary line, I like to call it. Okay, so D, the bottom mark of the head of the brow, so this one right here, the bottom mark of the head, should horizontally align with the mark made for the tail. Okay, it should be parallel to that line. Depending on the client's chosen shape and customization, this may differ. Okay, so to elaborate on that, I line my ruler up with the bottom, and where it intersects that line I made, that's where my dot is going to go. Okay? So I lined it up here, these two, same parallel here. That's that imaginary D line on your diagram. Everybody with me? Yes? Anybody lost? Anybody have questions? All right, so those are my 5 total dots. Now, when I say it may differ, this rule may not always apply. Okay? If they get an upward brow shape, which we'll look at brow shapes in a second, which means the tail points up, this and this is not going to be the same. Everybody understand? If their brow is going up, this bottom part and this is not going to be the same thing. So that rule doesn't apply there. If they're getting a straight brow, the rule will still apply, but all of these dots are going to be this one, and this one will be on the same parallel. Okay? But most likely, if they're getting some type of arch, this beginning dot and this dot will be on the same parallel. That's that imaginary D line. Now, we have yet to use this yet. What are we going to use this for? To use that, you are basically mirroring what you've done over here. You're mirroring it over here. This is what we use this for, so we don't have to make the mapping lines again. Sometimes there can be error when you map both sides independently. But if you use that forehead sticker, you're basically just mirroring what you did here, mirroring it over there. So, of course, I just drew this. It's not going to be the exact same, but what I like to do is start out by holding my ruler underneath here, or my caliper, and then I'll say, okay, I made this dot over here A, and sometimes whatever, depending on the person, is going to be the exact measurement here. Okay, and I'm going to shadow, come to the same side, shadow over here, and come down and make the same dot. Okay, now you could just do your paper like this and do the same thing like this, or you could check your work again. Okay, so I just take my caliper and I will measure these two out and come over here. Now I know where this one is supposed to go. Okay, same thing for my other two. Okay, this one I'm going to say the arch is at B. I'm going to come over here, B, come to B, come down and make my dot. Okay, still going to continue to check my work. Or you could just place the ruler underneath. Okay. Now for the tail, I usually map the tail again using the nostril and the eye. Hoping, you know, most people have even eyes. Okay. You can also, the way to check your work is the tail. Most of the time, the distance from this tail to this tail is too far to use the caliper. So it's to measure this way. Okay. And measure the distance. Again, this is just a quick drawing, guys. Alright, and I'll do the same thing here. Check and see where this is supposed to fall at on the line. Okay. Alright, so now that we've done that, number 7 we went over, I just said it verbally. Number 8, once all marks are made, you will connect them, starting with the top of the brow, then connect the bottom of the brow. Both the top and bottom should connect to the tail. So now we're going to connect the dots, okay? You could use a ruler to do this, or you could just draw it in yourself. The important part about this is just to make sure you're creating straight lines. Okay? And just like that, you have an eyebrow. You can do the same thing on the other side, okay? So it might look a little different. And it'll look a little different because of my drawing, but that is what you have. Now, the important part about connecting the dots, what I notice is people tend to make it like this, making the brow too fat, or they'll do like this. It's like a dip in the brow, okay? You must make sure your line is going straight across, okay? Now, like I said, I've done these classes a lot, and I don't know, some people just gotta pray for them, but they will connect this line to this line. How though? And then they'll connect this here. Just making sure you connecting this one to this one, this one, and this one in here. That's happened several times though. But yes, the bottom does not connect all the way to the tail automatically, okay? So, with that being said, okay, so we are on number 8. Let me see. Number 9, once lines are connected, this is a basis for your shape. You need to smooth out and perfect your shape. Use a brow pencil to go over the map shape and smooth out the corners of the brow where the arch is, if there is one. It's okay to make the outline thick if you have to. You will clean this up with micro brushes shortly. So once I have this, and you guys, I always say when you get right here, make sure it's rounded out, because when we connect dots, it can tend to look like the Big Dipper. We don't want it to look like that. So what I'll do is just go over my lines. It's okay to make the outline thicker, because you're going to end up cleaning it up. Okay? So, once you have rounded out the shape and made the outline bolder, it's now time to perfect or sharpen the shape. Use micro brushes and green soap to do so. Okay? So I'm going to go in more into that. Apply a small amount of green soap to the micro brushes. Too much will cause the pencil to bleed. Begin wiping off excess brow. So I'll elaborate that more on number 11. Any lining that is out of place or needs sharpening, wipe your brush across it. I typically start by wiping my brush across the top of the brow, then wiping it across the bottom. Think of this as the makeup concealer trick. When someone draws on their brows, they may use concealer on the top and concealer on the bottom to clean it up. By doing this, it ensures the shape of the brow is crisp. We will go over this more in the live demonstration. So who knows about the concealer trick? You draw your brows, you put concealer on the top, concealer on the bottom. This is kind of the same thing, but you're using green soap. Okay? So basically, just to give you like a little demonstration, I'm just making my lines. Nope, I just erased the bottom. Making my lines super crisp and clean. That's what we're looking for. Because the brow pencil can get thick. We just want our brow to be perfect, okay? So, thinning out that line. Until our shape is nice and crisp. Okay, and just to give you an idea, okay? So that was traditional brow mapping. How do you guys feel about that one? Good?
Yeah, I hope so.
You okay over here, Alex? You awake?
Yeah.
All right, traditional brow mapping. Now, time for another one of my favorites.